I'm Keisha Butcher, and this is my OMG interview. Well, we're talking about breast cancer prevention and particularly awareness in the month of October. So that Payless ShoeSource is in its 9th year of basically promoting cancer awareness. And to do that, they have these bands. It's a pink band with shimmering silver love on it, and they're offering this together with a Gusto Champion shoe that is available at all Payless shoe stores. And basically the proceeds from both of these items, $1 from this item and $3 from the purchase of each shoe, will be going, each Gusto Champion shoe will be going towards Vitas House. Vitas House is managed by the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society, and for the last 9 years, Payless ShoeSource has in fact partnered with the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society by donating some of the proceeds towards, of course, the house, so that it is basically a place where end-stage cancer patients can find comfort. There's good management, good staff at Vitas House, and so Payless, of course, is very, very happy to partner again with the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society. The incidence of breast cancer in Trinidad and Tobago is 1 in 8 women, so that it's quite high, and really what needs to be done in order to ensure, I would say, ensure awareness is that there's early detection, there's screening, so that increases really the chance of survivability. Awareness is so much more than just wearing pink in the month of October. It really is in getting tested, in getting screened. Early detection is where it is at. So this year, Payless is also partnering in terms of they will have a table at the Pink Tea, which would take place at Show 1 Woodbrook Place on the 22nd of October. And the proceeds from the Pink Tea fashion show, really, it will be going to the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society as well. So we're all in this with the same goal in mind. So how am I involved? I am a breast cancer fighter. I am not in remission, but I continue to fight daily, and I say that I am a breast cancer survivor because really there were opportunities for me to have passed on, and I say opportunities because, you know, it's to go into eternal life, but I'm still here, and I'm here with a purpose. I was 33 when I saw a lump. When I felt a lump actually in my left breast one New Year's night, when I was actually in the shower. So that quite, I would say just after that, within a month, I would have gone to see about it, and I was happy that I had a lumpectomy. It was sent for testing, but it actually came back where it was fatty tissue. So I was very happy about that because it meant that, you know, I didn't have cancer and the lump was benign. However, about 2 years later, I noticed that my left breast would have started to change color, sort of looking a little toast in color. And when I showed my mother, my sister, my aunt, you know, one time, they were horrified and thought that I should get it checked out immediately. I was again afraid, but I went and I had it checked out, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer. That really started a whole journey because at that point I didn't want to do conventional treatment. I didn't want to do chemo and radiation because of some of the stories that I heard. Not personally, but just, you know, stories out there. And I decided to try alternative treatment, and I did that for about a year. There are different types of alternative treatments, and so I was on, you know, good nutrition, raw foods for a while, I also had ozone treatment, and there are different types of treatment. So I tried them while being tested, scanned every 3 months or so to see how I was progressing. The cancer continued to increase a little bit, slowly, but it was increasing. And I decided after about a year of doing alternative treatment that if I continued like that, I would probably basically succumb to cancer. So I decided at that point that I needed to do conventional treatment, and I did. I didn't realize though that there are different types of breast cancer. So that the one that I fight on a daily basis is actually hormone sensitive. So that for another year or so, with me trying, different types of conventional treatment, the cancer was still spreading a little and a little. Because as I said, I didn't know I had hormone sensitive breast cancer. And I only actually found that out after there was fluid in my lungs, and I'd started having difficulty walking, so that my left leg, I was limping. But when I went to deal with the fluid in my lungs, there was about a liter of fluid in my lungs. So at that stage, really, it's only God. So I am still here to share my story. But while they were dealing with the fluid in my lungs, I asked that another biopsy be done so that they can properly give me, the information about the type of breast cancer that I in fact have. And so when I found out the type, I was able to submit that information to my oncologist, and I was properly treated for the specific type of breast cancer. What happened is that by that time, the cancer had already spread, and so there were a couple spots on my liver. It was also in my bone, and what was happening was that I was weakening, and so I was bedridden for about 2 months, but I was on hormonal blocking medication at that point. So when the medication started to, starve the cancer, so to speak, I started responding. My body started responding positively. And I went from being bedridden to being in a wheelchair, then onto crutches, onto a cane, and then being able to walk properly, as you can see. So my story is basically one of early detection. That's my voice. And when I say early detection, if you detect early and you push through and you press through, because remember there was delay in terms of the treatment for me, the earlier you detect is the better in terms of your survivability. And I want to use my voice to encourage women to go and get tested. Don't be afraid, don't delay. Know your body and really go out there and use those tools in your bag to be able to fight this cancer through real awareness. Only God, really only God. There was a time when I was diagnosed, I was a leader in my church at that time, but I thought that God's plan was to heal me and to heal me quickly. So when time was passing, I started to get confused and then angry and very disappointed, because I just didn't expect that I would still have cancer and that it would have been progressing, But so I basically I would have stopped holding on to God at that time. But the good news for me is that He never stopped holding on to me. So that little by little, He brought me back to a place where when I felt alone, when I felt like I was having to fight on my own and face this darkness, because that's what it feels like, I would have a sense of comfort in the midst of it that I couldn't deny. And I have been able to face it each step of the way. I live step by step, I live day to day, and it has caused me to actually be deliberate about my time, about my life, to have more compassion for others. I am an attorney at law by profession, and he has given me the grace to be able to still work well. I am in a hospital environment in terms of my work, so that I really have that compassion for patients who are not only fighting this disease but also others. And there's a reason why, you know, and so it's part of my purpose, and I do find that strength in him. The biggest lesson would have been to walk step by step, because for me, in my life, I was galloping down a road. I was successful, I was young, nothing was stopping me. I was, as far as I'm concerned, conquering the world. Except that I have a 16-year-old daughter. She was 8 when I first noticed the lump, 10 when I was diagnosed. But yet still, I wasn't giving her the focused attention that she needed. There were other people in my family. I had so distanced myself from them. I was very independent. And so this has caused me, my whole look and take on life, it just basically brought everything to a halt, and it made me have to reassess what is important and what is not. And the importance of family, the importance of how you live deliberately, that has really been a change for me. And you know, it's a big change. I'll just share this with you, and then I'll see if it's what I want to say, right? My OMG moment. I'm thinking, and I'm not sure this is what I want to share, but I remember standing up one day in my porch, and I decided I'm going back to work. I was sitting in a wheelchair, and I got up, I held on to the porch banister, and I stood up. And literally, I took one step at a time with the support, of course, of the banister. And as I'm doing that, that's why I say I live step by step, because it's literally two. As I'm doing that, I just felt like that was the lesson that I'm supposed to be learning in my life. So I want to thank everybody for viewing. I want to say to you, go out, be a part of this campaign. Get your band, get your champion, Gusto Champion shoes at any of Payless outlets, and let's build awareness. Bye.